Hello there, everyone. I'm back again with my YouTube walkthroughs regarding, for IELTS reading. I had huge issues with my health, so I had to take my time to heal and recover. So I think so yeah, again, we're back. Today in this passage, we're going to see the Dead Sea Scrolls. So essentially, what you have to do here is that you will have to passage one is basically very easy. There's not a lot of time you can spend. You don't need to spend a lot of time. Basically, what you really have to understand before you do the reading passages, you have to understand what questions they follow the order of the passage, and I'm going to explain that while we are doing it. Okay, so if you can pay attention, you have the complete the notes below. This is a notes completion. This is a notes completion question. So I'm gonna take that as a notes completion. Notes completion. Whoops, why it's not writing? Completion. Notes completion question. So they come in order. So you don't have to spend a lot of time. Okay, you just find these keywords and just navigate with them. And another one is true false not given. They're true false not given. They are all the time. Uh, it follows the order. Let me put follows the order. Right? You don't have to spend a lot of time to what is that called? Just gonna mute my phone. You don't have to spend a lot of time. So now, what we're gonna do here is the three Bedouin shepherds. Their teens were near an opening side of a cliff. They heard a noise of breaking when one teenager threw. Okay, teenagers went into the. So they went into some. They went into somewhere building and found a number of containers made of. So a number of containers made of. We need an adjective here, or maybe a noun. A date from between 150 BCE and 17 CE. So we have a group of people. So what we're gonna do here is 150 and 70. So let's go. In the late 1946 or early 1947, three Bedouin teenagers were tending their goats and sheep near the ancient settlement of Qumran, located on the northwest shore of the Dead Sea in what is known as the West Bank. One of these young shepherds tossed a rock. So tossing is throwing. Tossed a rock. So you have the first answer here. It tossed a rock. Okay, so I'm gonna take that. Tossed a rock into an opening on the side of a cliff and was surprised to hear a shattering sound. He and his companions later entered the cave and stumbled across a collection of large clay jars. So teenagers went into the cave. So one of these young shepherds tossed a rock into an opening on the side of a cliff and was surprised to hear a shattering sound. We have over here number one. I'm gonna take that question number one. Highlighted. He and his companions later entered the cave. They entered the cave. Here I'm gonna take it again. All right, so put a number two here. They entered the cave. All right, so just highlight that. They entered the cave and stumbled across a collection of large clay jars. So they went into the cave. So we have that answers and found a number of. A collection of is another synonym for. A collection of is a synonym for a number of. So made of clay. I'm gonna take that. All right. Date from between 150 BCE and 70 CE. So they thought to have been written by a group of people known as the. Here we definitely need an adjective. Written mainly in the something language. We need to find in what language it was written. So the teenagers took the seven scrolls to a nearby town where they were sold for a small sum to a local antiquities dealer. So we think the Bedouin teenagers who found the scrolls were disappointed by how little money they received for them. So the keyword here is disappointed, right? And they may choose highlighter. They were disappointed how little money they received. There is an agreement among academics about the origin of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Most of the books of the Bible written on the scrolls are incomplete. So most of the books, you need to pay attention to the word here. Most of them. This is very good grammar, by the way. The information on the copper scroll is written in an unusual way. Okay, and so on. So here, first of all, 7 of which contain scrolls with the writing on them. The teenagers took the 7 scrolls to a nearby town where they were sold for a small sum to a local antiquities dealer. Word of the find spread, and the Bedouins and archaeologists eventually unearthed tens of thousands of additional scrolls fragments from 10 nearby caves. So here they're saying that they were in here the question is talking about the attitude of the they're talking about the attitude of these teenagers. And however, the passage is not saying how happy or sad they were after they sold the this, I don't know, some sort of this scrolls they found, a collection of large clay jars they found. So the answer that with that being said, answer is going to be not given. We do not know. The passage does not say anything about their emotional state, how happy they were, or how sad they were. There is agreement among academics about the origin of the Dead Sea Scrolls. We don't know that yet, so we're going to continue with it. So the origin of the, however, no. Word of the find spreads, and Bedouins and archaeologists eventually unearthed thousands of blah blah blah. Together they make up between 800 and 900 manuscripts. It soon became clear that this was one of the greatest archaeological discoveries ever made. The origin of the Dead Sea Scrolls, which were written around 2000 years ago between 150 BCE and 70 CE, is still the subject of scholarly debate even today. So we have another answer here. Let me highlight that nicely, perfectly. So so here the answer is going to be number 7, I think. Yeah, right. So number 7. But let me put it this way. Okay. Is this still subject of scholarly debate? We have scholar. Scholar is another word for academics. So there's agreement. The antonym is debate. So agreement is you agree. You say okay, good. But the debate is that when you're debate is like there are conflicts. They are throwing. I would say statements, sentences or words at each other. One person is saying this, another person is saying that. So that's why the answer is going to be here, false. So you don't have to spend a lot of time. You don't have to spend a lot of time. So the number 7 is there. Thought to have written a group of people known as the, according to the prevailing theory, they are the work of a population that inhabited the area until Roman troops destroyed the settlement around 70 CE. Settlement is just another word for area, or like a village. The area was known as Judea at that time, and the people are thought to have belonged to a group called the Essenes, a devout Jewish sect. So they thought to have been written by a group of people known as the Essenes, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that. We have the Essenes. I'm gonna highlight that. I'm gonna give it a number 4. All right, there we go. And then written mainly in some sort of a language. So the majority of the text on the Dead Sea Scrolls are in Hebrew. So there we go. We found another answer. It's written in Hebrew. Number 5. There we go. Take that normally, highlight that. So it's written in Hebrew. Hebrew is a Jewish language. So most of the books of the Bible written on the scrolls are incomplete. So the majority of the text on these Dead Sea Scrolls are in Hebrew, with some fragments written in an ancient version of its alphabet, thought to have fallen out of use in the 5th century BCE. But that there are other languages as well. Some scrolls are in Aramaic, the language spoken by many inhabitants of the region from the 6th century BCE to the siege of Jerusalem. So, in addition, several texts features translations of the Hebrew Bible into Greek. So most of the books Bible written on the scrolls are incomplete. It's not saying anything about the incompletion. So, all right. So the Dead Sea Scrolls include fragments from every book of the Old Testament of the Bible, except for the book of Esther. The only entire book of the Hebrew Bible preserved among the manuscripts from Qumran is Isaiah or Isaiah. This copy dated the 1st century. So I think I made a small mistake here. It had to be written here. The majority of the text on the Dead Sea Scrolls are in Hebrew, with some fragments written in an ancient version of its alphabet, thought to have fallen out of use in the fifth century. God damn it. So the information on the copper scroll is written on an unusual way. Most of the books of the Bible written on scrolls are incomplete. Again, someone calling. Huge. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna want to pause. All right, I came back again. Sorry for that. So most of the books of the Bible written on the scrolls are incomplete. Again, we didn't necessarily find the question here. However, we have to find. We have to continue. So the Dead Sea Scrolls include fragments from every book of the Old Testament of the Bible, except for the book of Easter. So the information of the most of the books on the Bible written on the scrolls are incomplete. The answer here is going to be true, because the answer is over here. You can take that and highlight it nicely, I guess. Except for, and the answer, I'm just gonna give it a number as well, number 8. Okay, so because it's saying most of the books of the are incomplete, it is true. It does not say all of them. Most of them. It's like out of 10, 9 is complete, but 1 is incomplete. All right, so that most of the books written on the scrolls are incomplete. So I'm sorry, like 10 out of 10, let's say like 6 or 7 of the books. Of 10 books, 6 or 7 of the books are ready, but other 4 or 3 are not ready. It depends on the number that I'm saying. So again, it's like you have 10 books, and of the 10 books, 7 of the books are ready, but 3 books are still left incomplete. So that's what it's saying. Here is except for the book of Easter. So the information on the copper scroll is written in an unusual way. So I'm going to find the copper scroll real quickly. We have the copper scroll. We have over here. So, but the writing on the Dead Sea Scroll is mostly in black or occasionally red ink, and the scrolls themselves are nearly all made of neither parchment, an animal skin, or an early form of paper called papyrus. The only exception is the scroll numbered 3Q15, which was created out of a combination of copper and tin, known as the Copper Scroll. This curious document features letters chiseled into metal, perhaps as some have theorized to better withstand the passage of time. One of the most intriguing manuscripts from Qur'an, this is a sort of ancient treasure map that lists dozens of gold and silver caches, using an unconventional vocabulary and odd spelling. So you have another answer for yourself here. So this is going to be number 9. Alright, that kid is so shouting. Unusual way, unconventional vocabularies means is a vocabulary that not all human can understand. Only very selected people who have studied that language can understand. So that's why it's going to be true, not too Ray. Okay, we're gonna take that. Alright, there we go. Mar Samuel was given some of the scrolls as a gift. Early 1950s, a number of educational establishments in the U.S. were keen to buy the scrolls from Mar Samuel. So we're gonna continue doing that. One of the Dead Sea Scrolls have been in an interesting journey. In 1948, a Syrian Orthodox archbishop known as the Mar Samuel acquired 4 of the original 7 scrolls from a Jerusalem shoemaker and the part-time antiquity dealer, paying less than $100 for them. So he paid. So he was given some of the scroll as a gift. He didn't get it. He didn't get it as a gift. He got it. He got it with money. He bought it. He paid money and he got it. So a number of educational establishments. Then I'm gonna highlight that over here. So give that a go. So number 10. Right, number 10. There we go. He then traveled to the United States and unsuccessfully offered them to a number of universities. Again, another answer we have. Unsuccessfully offered. So we have number 11. So, in the 1950s, a number of educational establishments. Now we have another false here. I'm going to take that. a number of educational establishments first were keen. They were interested. No, they were not interested. It was unsuccessful. So the scroll was pieced together in 2006. That was pieced in together in 2017. Contains information about annual occasions in the Qumran era 2,000 years ago. Now, in 2017, researchers from the University of Haifa restored and deciphered one of the last untranslated scrolls. The University Eshbal Ratson and Jonathan Ben Dove spent 1 year reassembling the 60 fragments that make up the scroll, deciphered from a band of coded text on parchment. The find provides insight into the community of people who wrote it and the 364-day calendar they would have used. So essentially, the scroll that was pieced together contains information about annual occasions. Annual occasions means that the community of people. So they find insight into the community of 365 calendar they have used. So which means true. The find provides insight into the community of people who wrote it and the 364-day calendar they would have used. So it means in 1 year basically the sentence means that in 1 year, what did the people actually do, or they did? I mean, in 1 year, what they have done, what kinds of events, or what kinds of maybe festivals or celebrations they have maybe probably conducted. It's talking about that. So that's why the answer is going to be here a trio. This basically is really easy to understand because you have the word annual, which means 1 year, and 1 year is equal to 364 days. So the academics of the University of Haifa are currently researching how to decipher the finest scroll. Decipher means to understand. Decipher means to understand and to differentiate it. The scroll names celebrations that indicate shifts in seasons and details 2 yearly religious events known from another Dead Sea Scroll. Only one more known scroll remains untranslated. So academics and universities are currently researching. We don't know if here grammatically speaking that the process is it's present. It's in the present tense, and they're saying that are currently researching. It's still happening. It's in the continuous form. It's a continuous. All right. It's a present maybe kind of. It's not no. It is present continuous. They are still currently researching. But however, but the passage is not saying if they are researching. Here, despite the fact that they spent somewhere, I've heard they have spent researched and deciphered. Yeah, there you go. They have spent 1 year reassembling the 60 fragments. Reassembling, but the reassembling means to put into categories. But here to decipher, we don't have the information, so that's why it's going to be not given. So there we go, guys. We finished passage 1. Although I highly recommend for you to work on your vocabulary and just know if the questions follow the order or they don't follow the order. There are some questions that follows. That there are other questions that they don't. But I mean, there are most of the question types in the IELTS reading format is that most of them they follow the order. So what you really have to understand is the vocabulary, because when you understand the vocabulary, you can find the paraphrases. All right, guys. So thank you very much. This is the passage 1 we have finished, and so yeah, I'm back again. I'm gonna be uploading daily. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below if you like it, and smash that wonderful thumbs up button, guys. I will see you on the next episode.